Fisherman risks his life to save dog trapped on floating ice. As a fisherman's boat casually strolls through the water on its course, the hardworking fisherman notices a daunting sight: an exhausted and lost pup hopelessly drifting on a piece of ice with nowhere to go. In such a peculiar situation, it's not clear what course of action should be taken. A black pup, obviously fatigued and malnourished, drifts on a piece of ice with a look that can only be described as haplessness. It's been wet for God knows how long and is probably experiencing hypothermia. Something has to be done. The pup, breathless from exhaustion, fatigue, and hypothermia, notices the fishing boat, and even though it doesn't have the strength to bark out for help, the look tells the story of its misfortune. The real question is, will it be recognized? John, being the best swimmer in the crew, takes on his sole purpose to the savior of the situation. While he swims slowly ever so closer to the pup, he yells to it, "Jackie, I'm here, boy. I'm here, don't worry." John, even though he's the best swimmer between his fellow fishermen, even he alone struggles to swim fully clothed with his uniform in -20-degree freezing waters. But he knows this is one task he must not fail. As John finally reaches the piece of ice on which the pup's standing, even exhausted himself, he yells out, "Jackie, I'm here, boy, don't worry." But the pup is frightened beyond belief and isn't reacting, as if afraid of John. John decides there's only one thing to do. John attaches the second part of his rope to the piece of ice and slowly drags Jackie to the boat. As if swimming alone in the freezing waters wasn't hard enough, now he needs to pull the ice with the pup as well. But all isn't lost, as this time John has the support of his fisherman friends who help pull the first side of the rope, making John's job easier. As John finally reaches the safety of the boat, he's got his mind on the priorities. The pup goes first to be taken care of immediately with proper warming and drying. As such, John deliberately stays in the freezing water for a couple more minutes just so he can push Jackie on board, helped by his mates to finally lift him up and bring him in. Some of John's fisherman friends are not on the deck itself but in the cockpit of the boat, as the boat still needs to be operated, especially in this dangerous situation, so both John and Jackie reach safety. All they can do is just watch how this tense moment unfolds. What follows next is on their minds as well. Alas, with good deeds comes goodness, and it's the initial act of kindness which the whole fisherman crew undertook, with John as their vanguard to save Jackie from death, which allowed for Jackie to recover so fast. After a few days of warmth and quality food on the boat, Jackie's no longer the lost, hopeless, and hungry pup lost on the open sea, but a beautiful black stallion with a gaze of pure love and thankfulness. But what happens in a situation when there's no brave vanguard as John to save a pup in distress? This Labrador called Snowflake has wandered away from his mom and dad and is dangerously getting too close to an upcoming tide that might sweep him away with no one to intervene. Or perhaps a dolphin, a sight rare on its own, comes close to the shore at its own danger to thwart Snowflake from going any further. It deters Snowflake away from the upcoming tide back to safety. Now that's a sight. Best seen here as the waves of the tide approach Snowflake is just far enough to not be engulfed into danger, as he indeed did listen to the warnings of his new friend. To be fair, he owes him one. Snowflake has a debt, but a debt that'll be paid off by other pups. Rusty being this pup's nickname, he's an older dog who works as a rescue. He's equipped by a swimming vest and has long done his duty as a guard, hence the name. Here we have Rusty properly equipped, set and ready to again risk his life to save another. Even as the people which he works with prepare him for the upcoming dangerous task, he still manages to give a farewell before he does the job with a huge smile. But can dogs help people in such dire situations if unprepared? Rusty might be a bit old to endure the cold water and to sustain the strength to help a drowning person without gear, but Gizmo here is a strong young German Shepherd whose innate instincts guide him to protect other people. Without any gear, trailing, or preparation, at the sign of distress, Gizmo jumps fearlessly into the water. Being young and strong, it's obvious here that Gizmo has more than enough strength to not only carry his own weight, but the weight of the person as well. As the drowning man leans on Gizmo's back, Gizmo doesn't struggle to carry the weight of them both back to safety. After reaching the shore, the drowning man's too exhausted from his struggle in deep water, but Gizmo is as vigilant as ever, so as soon as they hit the ground, Gizmo even gently bites the man by the shirt and pulls him away from the water completely, back to solid and dry ground where the man can recuperate fully. As we've seen, no one's invincible. We all need help sometimes, and we all need to help each other. The struggle may be rough, but after all, it's mutual, and together we can overcome it. All we need, every single one of us, everyone and even everything, from a man to a pup to a plant, is love and care. Only by helping each other and by giving strength to one another can we be strong together and live a better life.